Episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com. Authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of the Nok Muay. Go check it out.
I want to talk about Black Room at Deep Studios. If you enjoy the content of this podcast, you will definitely enjoy the value that you get out of the Black Room and being a member of the Black Room. What it is it's a subscriber-based way to support the podcast. If you enjoy the podcast and want it to continue, I'm asking for your help. And in exchange, you're going to get an underground view of Muay Thai, American Muay Thai, as well as within Thailand. We have people who are now working on the ground in Thailand that are helping us get media, content, all that stuff. We're posting it there on Black Room, as well as behind-the-scenes footage of the podcast recordings when we're recording. After I stop recording for stuff that we broadcast, we put some subscriber-based only content on there. So you're going to really get a lot of value out of that subscription. Okay, it's not just supporting the podcast. We also have podcast subscriber-only merchandise that's coming out as well here in 2024. So you have to be a part of the Black Room in order to get access to that. So I'm asking you for your help on that, but I know that it's not so much of you helping me. It's going to be us giving you a ton of value that you're going to get and just enjoy it. And it's only $5 a month. All right, you can cancel it anytime. Every little bit counts. Please go join it. The link is down in the show notes. All right. Anyways, sit back and enjoy the show. Hey, Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast team. I just wanted to say thank you for all the follows and support throughout the years at Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. We've been doing this over 5 years now. This is completely insane to me. The upcoming segment is a segment from our YouTube channel where it goes over gloves and glove recommendations. It's a great segment. Send this to your friends. If you are a coach, if you are a new student in Muay Thai, this is a great thing to have to share with your training partners, to share with that person who has those shitty gloves that might not be the best and most fun to train with. All right. With that said, sit back and tune in and enjoy. Sawasdee Cup. Sawasdee Cup. If you've been watching Muay Thai lately, especially ONE Championship, you've probably noticed something different. The gloves. ONE does not use the same full-size pad gloves you see in places like Rajadamnern Stadium, the traditional old Lumpini Stadium, or what you see on like promotions like RWS. They use MMA gloves, and that changes everything in Muay Thai. My name is Jonathan Pu'u, founder of Pu'u Muay Thai. I've officiated thousands of fights around the world, multiple continents, coached national champions, guided fighters into the professional ranks, and had some professional fights myself. I know exactly why the gloves in ONE Championship are different and what that means for fighters. Let's break down which Muay Thai gloves ONE uses and how they compare to traditional Muay Thai gloves, like those bigger gloves, and why this change is one of the biggest shifts the sport has seen in decades. So, which Muay Thai gloves are used in ONE Championship? ONE uses 4-ounce to 6-ounce MMA style gloves, similar to what you would see in mixed martial arts bouts. They are made by Fairtex specifically for ONE Championship and are designed to meet their safety and branding standards. These gloves are open-fingered. It's very similar to like MMA. They are MMA gloves, right? So it's open fingers. It's not like a boxing-style glove, with much less padding than the traditional Muay Thai glove. So it's more knuckle, less overall padding on the width of the hand as well. So it's less padding than the traditional Muay Thai glove. They allow for full clinch control, so you can grab, do more like the grips with your interlocked fingers and stuff like that. Different clinch control, different clinch breaks, and more direct striking. This is very different from gloves used in traditional stadium settings in stadium Muay Thai, which are typically, 6, 8-ounce or 10-ounce fully padded Muay Thai gloves for professionals. So this is how ONE's gloves change the fight. Switching to MMA gloves changes the sport in a few important ways. And it's important for you to understand this as well. Less padding means strikes land harder on the opponent causing more visible damage. The welts and stuff like that come from that, they appear much sooner with that MMA style glove. Blocking with your hand is less effective because the gloves are smaller. All right. So it's more like the width of your hand. It's not like a bigger glove, like a 10-ounce Muay Thai style glove where they can shield more. All right. It's just your hand. And shots can slip through easier through the guard as well. The open finger design makes it easier to grab behind the head, doing, more like wrist controls, grabbing. It's one of those things when we're clinching or we're saying, reminding people to not use their thumbs because they're used to having like the Muay Thai style glove, right? But with MMA gloves, you can use your thumb to grab, all right? So it allows more like that wrist control. And throw elbows without the traditional bulk of the glove, basically like when they're setting up for the glove with the elbow strike, it's not going to get in the way as much. Also, when the elbow lands, they're not going to have the glove to be able to catch onto the glove as much. It's going to be more onto the back of the hand, right? Or trying to get out to land on the forearm. And this changes the game quite a bit. Smaller gloves concentrate the force of punches, making knockouts way more common, right? As seen with the knockout of the night bonuses that we're seeing handed out like candy on ONE Championship until recently, right? If you didn't hear about that, on an earlier episode here on YouTube and on the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast, we've talked about this in length, where ONE Championship's actually talking about reintroducing big gloves. But this is why ONE fights often feel faster and more explosive. There are much less margin for error in the defending boxer's defense. And this is how traditional Muay Thai gloves differ. Let's compare this to stadium fights like you see at RWS, which is Rotterdam World Stadium, or places like Omnoy Stadium or another more authentic Muay Thai stadium experience. In those settings, the fighters wear full Muay Thai gloves, so like that authentic Muay Thai style glove that are similar to boxing gloves. All right, there's some small changes when it comes into the overall design of the glove, but they are very similar. All right. So there, like I said, these are usually 8-ounce for fights under 147 pounds and 10-ounce and above for heavier weights. Fully padded design glove that has closed fingers and the thumb is usually attached. Sometimes you'll see like the older style gloves, they didn't have an attached thumb, but now they're usually attached and the fingers aren't openly poking out, right? Larger surface area for blocking punches, parrying, and catching kicks. It has actually like padding on the inside of the palm, usually a little bit of padding. So that way when the kick's coming in, it has a little bit of padding for the ridge of the hand as well. So these gloves are built for durability for longer fights, for strategy in the longer fights as well, and better hand protection for the person who's punching. All right. So it provides better hand protection as well. Is because usually these like the laces has a little bit more wrist support and things like this as well. And traditional judging, where this allows for a higher volume of damage to be absorbed, right? So the glove allow a higher volume of damage to be absorbed and blocked, and technique can outweigh it in regards to what you see in more traditional, authentic Muay Thai fights, right? Where they can absorb the damage a little bit better. But in these more MMA glove style fights, the technique in the authentic ones can outweigh typically the style we're seeing now, which is just biting down on your mouthpiece and swinging for the fences in that MMA glove, right? The bigger gloves also allow fighters to hide behind a tight guard, all right? You can even just kind of do like that helmet cover up as like a last ditch effort, right? Whereas like with MMA glove, that doesn't offer a whole degree of protection there. In a way, it's not possible with those MMA gloves like you can do in the more authentic Muay Thai glove. So let's talk about the advent of the MMA glove and the MMA Muay Thai glove as well. So you'll see like in ONE Championship didn't invent that. A lot of people might think like, oh, ONE Championship, MMA gloves. They did not invent the Muay Thai glove in MMA. So Muay Thai and MMA gloves, they didn't invent that. But they made it mainstream because it did bring a big light to it with their Amazon Prime viewership, all the content they're putting out. They have massive social media reach as well. By putting elite Muay Thai fighters into MMA gloves on a global stage, they create a hybrid experience, really. All right. You see people who might like MMA, they see that and they think it's MMA. They don't know the difference, right? It feels more raw and dangerous. right? It appeals to both MMA fans and Muay Thai fans because you're seeing Muay Thai fights. MMA fans are seeing that high knockout percentage ratio, and it brings in those more general viewership fans as well. But it changes how matchups play out compared to stadium-style bouts. With this change comes a shift in strategy for the fighters, from the guard structures like I was talking about to clinch entries, how they're going to enter into the clinch. A little bit more dangerous now when they're entering into the clinch with a hook coming over the shoulder there, uppercuts, and even how fighters throw elbows and knees all adapt to the smaller glove. All right. I believe one of the first to do this with the small glove Muay Thai was John Wayne Parr when he hosted Cage Muay Thai promotion in Australia. He'd have it in a cage and everything as well, and he'd use MMA gloves. I'm pretty sure that was the first, if not one of the first, right? I'm pretty sure it is the first that was doing Muay Thai fights in MMA gloves. And then came MX Muay Extreme in Bangkok, Thailand. All right. So now the safety considerations. There's also a clear safety trade-off with the smaller gloves. All right. They're much riskier, right? Not only that, is the risk of hand injuries for boxers goes way up. It goes up significantly with less padding and less structural support on the hand. Landing on an awkward angle or on a hard surface like the forehead or the elbow can cause, sprains or fractures that can cause that boxer's break that's on there. We don't see this as much in MMA because they're not always standing and they're not the same level of strikers. We'll put it that way. It's not the same level of striking. All right. Completely different when it comes into MMA fights and just stand-up Muay Thai fights. All right. Smaller gloves also fit into tighter openings. So like coming over that shoulder piece when they land that hook. All right. It's easier for them to slip past the guard and land directly into the eye socket as well. So for those that don't know, you have your orbital bone that's right here. That's like your eye socket. So this increases the risk of orbital fractures and eye injuries as well. Not to mention the additional risk of like the John Jones style eye pokes with the open finger concept for those MMA people that might know about the infamous John Jones tactic of using his hands like this, right? So cuts happen more often and the force of punches is less distributed. So they land harder and cause more damage to the fighter, which in Muay Thai is good. We want to cause more damage. Damage is number one, all right? In ONE Championship, knockdowns are number one, but that is like the ultimate form of damage is getting a knockdown, right? So even with strict safety protocols in ONE, MMA gloves inherently increase the danger level for both the attacker and the defender, all right? This is a trade-off between spectacle and safety, and ONE has leaned into the spectacle, and it has brought a ton of eyeballs onto Muay Thai, and I think that is just a great thing. Here's my take. You might be wondering which I think is better. Is it traditional gloves or ONE's MMA style gloves? And my answer is it really depends on what you value and what you're wanting to watch at the end of the day. I do find myself finding more of the bigger glove Muay Thai fights, me watching those and going on my way to watch those and seek those out. I don't know if that's because more people are talking about the fights with the MMA style gloves on ONE Championship because they're very popular. Like I was saying, the media machine that is ONE Championship, you see that stuff thrown in your face everywhere. It's easier to watch those fights. So for me, I find myself sitting down and watching more of the, 5-round RWS fights or at the stadiums on YouTube as well, or live TV streamed in from Thailand. So it just depends on what you value, right? If you are a purist, traditional gloves are going to be the way to go for you. All right. You're going to enjoy watching those more traditional, authentic fights. So the traditional gloves also preserve the flow and pacing of stadium Muay Thai. If you prefer high octane action, pure testosterone, those MMA gloves create the feeling that any strike could potentially end the fight. All right. And it does. Like I said, ONE knows this and was incentivizing it with these knockout bonuses. This really does make the sport a completely different game. It's a game in that it rewards the high-risk Muay Mat fighters. So Muay Mat is like more like a punch-heavy, brawling style of Muay Thai, which it has its own style in itself. And those fighters that were crowd favorites for spectators, but would tend to lose on decision if they didn't KO their opponents with those bigger gloves. They tend to lose on like a points decision right? Because they were taking more damage coming forward trying to punch, where now with these small gloves, they can kind of just sit down and bang and probably get a knockout, right? Because they do have a lot of punching power. So it favors that style a little bit more. And not only that, is ONE Championship got rid of a lot of the clinching. So the people that might be able to outscore or get, have better, maybe they're winning more of the rounds on the judges' scorecards and they're judged higher, they're not able to employ the tactic of utilizing the clinch as well. Now, I appreciate both, and I understand the draw for more eyes on the sport, and I believe fighters and spectators should understand exactly how the equipment changes the strategy of the fight, the risk, and flow of a fight. Your gloves are not just your protection, they are part of a fighter's game plan, all right? It's not just for looks, right? Now you know which Muay Thai gloves are used in ONE Championship and why it is so different from what you see in RWS or other stadiums you see within Thailand. So whether you are fighting, you're coaching, or just watching as a spectator, understanding the gloves helps you appreciate the tactics, risks, and artistry in each match and in each promotion, depending on which gloves they are using. So if you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. That button's just down right below. If you are listening to this on the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast, make sure to leave us a review on any platform that you're listening on. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment with your opinion down below. If you're listening to this somewhere else, you can always go to podcast.pu'umuaythai.com. And you could, of course, submit your thoughts, reference this episode, and tell us what your thoughts are. I'll make sure to give you a response. And if it lines up, I'll make sure to give a response here on the channel as well. So let us know. Leave a comment. Do you prefer ONE's MMA gloves or the traditional Muay Thai gloves, the bigger gloves? With that said, train smart, stay sharp, and I will see you in the next episode. Sawadee Kap. All right, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in today to the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. If you enjoy the content, go leave a review over on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Give us a rating. It means the world to us. Also, if you want to be a guest on the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast, or if you just want to shout out to your friend, go check us out at podcast.pu'umuaythai.com. You can submit to be able to be a guest on the podcast. You can submit what you want to talk about. Also, if you want to just give a shout out, there's a button for that too. Sawadee Kap.